happy Tuesday. Just want to go through our lesson for the day. I did change the background to match our rainbow folders. So let's take a look down here. We're going to go into the week of 9/21 to 9/25. This will be published for you. We're going to start with our warm-up. So yesterday and Thursday, we read Who Was John Wilkes Booth? In those lessons, in the nonfiction text, we were told numerous reasons why Booth killed Abraham Lincoln and how he felt about the South and the Confederacy. Please tell me one way that he felt about the South. That is your warm-up for Tuesday, the 22nd. Let's take a look at our mini lesson. All right, so we're still talking here about Lincoln. Remember, this workshop 4 is called The Hunt for Lincoln's Killer. So our goal for today is to practice summarizing using a narrative nonfiction text. Remember that summarizing means restating the most important ideas of a text. And I'm going to add in here inferencing, because we're going to be making some inferences as well. Okay, our goals are to figure out the key idea and to practice citing text evidence, so words that came directly from the text, to support those key ideas. So, last week we watched our anchor video, and yesterday and last week we read Who Was John Wilkes Booth? So let's kind of tie those into our lesson for today. Okay, we learned why just a few days after the Civil War ended that Booth shot and killed Lincoln. We found out his reason why. So today we're going to learn about the crime that Booth committed in Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. on that fateful night. So remember that Abraham Lincoln was at the theater enjoying some entertainment when he was assassinated. We have our academic vocabulary. So 2 words we're going to focus on today is familiar, which is an adjective, and it means often seen or understood. So when I'm at school, one familiar sound I hear is the school bell. Our next word that we're going to take a look at is intend. Intend is a verb, and it is to plan to do something or complete a goal. So after school, I intend to first have a snack and then finish my schoolwork for the day. So those are our academic vocabulary. What you can do now is you can go ahead and you can hit pause in the video, keep this screen up, and you're going to copy those definitions down and the examples. Please, you can do something else for your example. Okay, so one familiar sound that you hear every day, maybe it's your dog barking. Maybe it's getting yelled at. I don't know. Okay, maybe it's your text message ding. And maybe you have different intentions after school. So maybe after school you have to babysit or clean your room or help make dinner. Okay, so you're going to complete that now on slide 5. Use slide 4 to help you. So as we read, I want you guys to think about the crimes that Booth committed in the excerpt that we're going to read today. Think about what this part of the text is mostly about, and then think about which paragraph would make the most interesting movie scene. Okay? So those are the 3 things I want you to think about as we read. Now, as you can see, the story does continue onto another page, but we will take a look at that tomorrow. So this is from Chasing Lincoln's Killer by James L. Swanson. On April 14th, 1865, President and Mrs. Lincoln were watching a play at Ford's Theater where John Wilkes Booth snuck up behind the president and shot him. Lincoln never knew what happened to him. His head dropped forward. His body lost all muscle control and sagged against the rocking chair. The sound of the pistol shot hung in the box for several seconds. It traveled to the stage below and echoed throughout the theater. The pistol shot did startle some people in the audience. Some thought it was part of the play. Some people did not hear it at all. Major Henry Rathbone, seated in the box just feet away from the president, was an experienced Army officer, familiar with the sounds of gunshots. He was the first to realize that something was very wrong. He turned to his left. The smoke from the gun, now tinted red from the gas lights, partly blocked his vision. Rathbone rose from his seat and stepped in the direction of the president. At that moment, he saw a wild-eyed man, his face ghostly against his black clothes, hair, and mustache. Like a demon, Booth emerged from the cloud of black powder and sprang at him. Rathbone lunged for Booth, grabbing him by the coat. The assassin broke free, shouting "Freedom!" and throwing his right arm up as high as it could reach. Rathbone saw what Booth had clenched in his fist, a large, shiny knife. Its blade pointed directly down at him. At the last moment, Rathbone raised his arm to protect himself from what was intended to be a death blow. All right, we have some additional vocabulary words down here. So to startle is to surprise or shock someone. And then lunged is to make a sudden move in a direction. Okay, so if you lunge towards somebody, you would be going towards them. All right, so we're going to summarize what we just read. And I want you to remember that summarizing is when we retell the main points of a story and we use it, we say it in our own words. Okay, we want to make sure that, we think of the most important ideas, who, what, where, when, how, okay? That you use your own words and that you avoid your personal opinion. Now, it's also, I like to think of it as if I just watched a TV show and somebody asked me how it was. I would just tell them real quick, a real gist of it. And I wouldn't go into every detail of what happened on the show. I would just go over the major points. So that's what summarizing is. So we're going to do that today. Before we do that, let's take a look at the key idea. It says, what crimes does Booth commit in this excerpt? Okay, so there was 2 crimes that he had. And let's actually go in here. I'm going to put 1 and then 2. Okay, so the first crime that he committed was shooting or killing President Lincoln. Okay, so we're going to put that there. Kills Lincoln. Pause and add this to your assignment. And the other one was attack Major Rathbone. Okay, so you guys are going to stop right now. Put that on in there. Those are the 2 crimes. Okay, to summarize, what is this part of the text mostly about? We're going to underline the most important details on pages 196 and 197, and then we're going to summarize. So now go back to slide 7, and we are going to underline the most important parts. So we're going to get our line. And we're going to underline. Again, we want important who, what, when, where, why, how. Okay? So we're really thinking of those WH question words. So when, whoa. All right, let's do a thick line, and I'm gonna do red. Fancy. Oh, that wasn't even for the line. Holy smokes. All right. So when? April 14th, 1865. So that's going to be, oh my goodness. All right, let me put my line over here. Okay. So that's our first one right there. Okay. And who did what, right? So I'm going to do another line. So we have John Wilkes Booth. And he snuck up behind the president and shot him. Okay. So that's the start of it, right? It happened so quickly that Lincoln didn't even know what had happened to him. Okay. So that's another important detail. It went on to talk about how people didn't even know what was happening. So we know that some people thought it was part of the play, right? They didn't even realize that the president had been shot. Okay. That was the first crime. Okay, now we have another player involved. And our other person involved was Major Henry Rathbone, who was seated not far from him. Okay, it's important to note that Rathbone was an Army officer. Okay, and he was very familiar. He kind of was able to assess the situation quickly. Okay. And he was the first one to realize that something had been wrong. So we're going to put that line there. Okay. So let's go into paragraph 3. We're going to look for Booth emerged from the cloud of black powder. Okay. And lunged Rathbone lunged at Booth. Okay. And then we have some, whoa, I apologize. Let me grab this. Okay. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this. Booth had clenched in his fist a knife. Okay. And it was pointed at him. And Rathbone was able to protect himself from the deadly blow. Okay, I know it could be a little bit difficult with these lines, okay, but we can figure it out, okay? It's important that you add the lines because that's part of your grade, okay? So let me go through here. You guys can pause this. Make sure you have, say, about 5 things underlined at least. And then we're going to go back into our summary. All right. So we're talking about everything that happened at the theater. So after, Booth, let's say, killed Lincoln. Major Rathbone reacted quickly to the assassin. Booth tried to attack him with a knife. Okay, so something simple as that. We could add more details if we had more space, or perhaps if we were writing a story for writing, okay, writing a story about this. or our own article, right? We could include things like the date and the place. But for this small spot and our quick summary, 2 to 3 sentences is all that you need. All right. And we're going to do evaluate which paragraph would make the most interesting movie scene and why. So you're going to tell me which one you chose. Okay, so there's 3 paragraphs on 3 paragraphs right here. Okay, so which one of these, okay, you're going to put your answer here. Let me actually insert text box. Whoa. All right, and you guys are going to put your answer there. And then you're going to tell me why. So 2 reasons why. And this is all you, there's no wrong answer. The only wrong answer is the answer not answered. Okay, so no wrong answer. Try your best. Which paragraph would be the most exciting as a movie, and then why. 2 reasons, okay? Once you're done that, you can go ahead and hit submit. Now let's go back into Tuesday because you do have independent work to do. So today's independent work is going into HMH Central, and you are working on the online software, so Student Application or System 44. Be sure to complete your response log, which is in the weekly folder. So if you go right here and click the week, you're now logging in to our weekly response log and completing it for Tuesday, the online software. Okay? Don't hit submit on this till Friday. And if you have any questions or concerns, come see me at either 9 a.m. or 3 p.m. or reach out to me in Schoology. All right, guys, have a great Tuesday.